Boss, I'm done with the report. Thanks for working late. It was important to do this report today. Thanks, boss. What? Aren't you going to review it? Nah, I can review it tomorrow. But then why did you make me work so late today? Hey, don't worry. Take it easy tomorrow. Just work half day. Thanks, boss. Yeah. Half day though. So 12 hours. Need 2 reports tomorrow. What? That's it. I quit.
I quit!
Working for you has given me diabetes and blood pressure. I'm going to go do gigs and earn double the money without having a jerk like you as my boss.
Several months later.
Boss, please take me back. Oh, you missed me so much? Well, it turns out the gig work was even more stressful. Now, along with BP and diabetes, I also have hemorrhoids. Gig economy has been called slavery with an app. In today's video, I'm going to tell you 4 shocking truths about the gig economy. And you will see that number 3 shows the ugly face of our society. It would completely reset your thinking next time you come across a gig worker. But let me start with number 1. Gig companies focus a lot on innovation, but their innovation is not limited to the apps that they create to provide new kind of services to the customers. They use innovative technologies to do surveillance on their employees at the level never seen before. Consider the case of Amazon. A worker who is working at Amazon warehouse may be doing the work of a picker, selecting and fetching the orders that need to be shipped to their customers all over the country. Workers are typically expected to pull 100 or more items per hour. A picker could expect to walk more than 12 miles in one shift, and they carry a handheld scanner, an innovation to help them with their job. The same scanner allows their manager to precisely track how long did it take the worker to fill one order. And those who fail to make the desired rate may lose their job. Workers are under constant pressure. Someone falling from fatigue on the job is not uncommon, but you may wonder, why do they really need to work so hard? I'll tell you precisely that in a moment. But before that, think, why do businesses hire gig worker in the first place? There are 3 primary reasons. And the second one is something that has been cleverly used to manipulate the worker and have them willingly accept those tough working conditions. So here are the 3 reasons. Gig workers offer businesses flexibility to hire more or less workers based on their demand and needs. During busy periods like Christmas, Thanksgiving, businesses can hire more workers, and during slow period, they can reduce the number of contractors that they have. Now, this second reason is really crazy. But let me first tell you about the third reason and we'll come back to this. The third reason is simple and quick hiring. See, the traditional hiring process typically requires one to be available for physical interviews, going through a typical lengthy process for hiring. See, a traditional hiring process is a time-consuming process. It often includes meeting in person and talking to the person who is being hired for long term. In the gig economy, businesses can hire qualified gig workers relatively quickly, thereby significantly reducing recruitment and onboarding times. Yes, Amit, that is obvious and we know that. But what was that second evil reason that you skipped through? Well, here it is. Let me tell you. The gig economy allows businesses to access a wide range of skills and expertise. Instead of hiring full-time employees who tend to have more generic, broad skills, businesses can hire gig workers with very specific, high-quality skills, leading to a very quality work being done in a specific domain. But Amit, how is that evil? Well, workers have been told that because of this nature of work, they can turn their secondary skill into part-time gig work and earn extra income. The whole premise of gig economy was for a worker to make additional income. Instead, businesses have started using workers only for limited number of hours, expecting them to deliver maximum value in those limited number of hours. They are always expected to perform at 110, 200%. And they often become overworked and underemployed. This is simply not sustainable for any worker. Here is an article that reported on the horrible conditions that gig workers have to often face. What? Amazon contract drivers have such brutal delivery schedules that they are sometimes forced to pee in bottles or defecate in bags. What? Uber drivers are often forced to work ludicrous overtime to make ends meet. Much of it waiting for the algorithm to deliver a fare. DoorDash paid $2.5 million to settle a lawsuit over allegedly stealing its drivers' tips. What? Okay, So businesses have their reasons to adopt the gig economy. But workers have embraced it too. What's wrong with that? Well, that brings us to the second dark secret of the gig economy. Job insecurity is one of the dark secrets of the gig economy, and it refers to the lack of certainty and stability experienced by the gig worker regarding their jobs and their incomes. Now you may say that this is what one signs up for when they decide to become a gig worker. But that's not entirely true. See, when the companies advertise gig work, they talk about all the flexibility, all the benefits. What they don't tell the gig workers is that they're going to lose 4 main benefits that comes with a traditional job. Of course, they don't even explain the biggest dark secret number 3, but more on that in a moment. First, let's discuss the 4 benefits of a standard job that the gig workers often lose. Gig workers often do not receive traditional employee benefits such as health insurance, retirement plans, or paid time off. The absence of these benefits can leave one financially vulnerable and without a safety net, particularly during the periods of emergencies or of lower employment. At the same time, the income can be very unpredictable and can fluctuate from month to month or even day to day. The lack of steady income stream can cause financial stress and make it very challenging to plan for the future. Gig workers typically do not have long-term contracts or job stability. They rely on short-term projects or gigs, which means they do not have guaranteed source of income beyond their current assignment. In the gig economy, workers often focus on completing specific tasks or projects rather than focusing on taking career advancement opportunities within the organization. This lack of upward mobility can be very discouraging for somebody who is looking for stable long-term career plan. If every worker were to truly understand and realize what all is being taken away from them, they'll be forced to reach out for the anxiety medication. But wait, imagine what will they do when they find out about the third dark secret, which is even more anxiety-inducing than this. Well, what is that? One of the most exploitative aspect of the gig economy is the rating and review system. Some consumers simply fail to give the rating to the gig worker despite their doing their best to complete the job. This unjustified and biased feedback can negatively affect the worker's income and job prospect. The worker has to constantly worry about the next rating and the next review. But Amit, if one works really hard and ensures good reviews and ratings from the customers, then can he or she earn good money and enjoy the fruits of the gig economy? No, it's because of the final dark secret. Compensation received by the gig workers for their jobs is often inadequate. In certain sectors, the gig workers don't benefit from the minimum wage protections that are given to workers in the traditional sector. And the platforms, they take a big cut of the earnings of the gig workers. This can result in significantly lower earnings, making it very difficult for them to meet even their basic living expenses. But many a times, gig workers are themselves responsible for their low wages. Really? How can that be true? Let me explain. The nature of the gig economy often triggers a race to the bottom scenario, where gig workers are forced to undercut each other, resulting in huge pay disparities. The workers have to constantly negotiate to secure their next gig. Some workers end up earning substantially less for the same work. See, when you go to office, a lot of expenses involved in doing your work is typically covered by your employer. But if you're a gig worker, many miscellaneous expenses or essential expenses like the equipment, transportation, software, etc. are not necessarily priced separately, meaning you have to cater for them by yourself. These hidden costs can eat into your earnings, thereby reducing your take-home pay significantly. Oh my god, this is really a scary situation for the gig workers. But Amit, is there any hope to save the gig workers and the gig economy? Well, there is. To save the gig economy and support its workers, several steps can be taken to create a more supportive and sustainable ecosystem. The first order of action is that government should develop and enforce labor rights that protect gig workers' rights. These can include fair wages, working hours, and access to benefits. Clarifying and refining the classification of gig workers as employees or contractors can lead to fairer practices and labor protection. Creating a social safety net for gig workers can give them essential benefits like healthcare, retirement plans, and paid time off. Gig platforms should also provide transparency in their rating systems to prevent arbitrary or biased rating from impacting a gig worker's income and job prospects. Gig platforms should be held accountable for ensuring fair treatment of workers and adhering to labor practices and laws. Regular audits and penalties for non-compliance should incentivize the right behavior. by these platforms. If you like this video, make sure to check out this other video on how even gig workers with lower incomes can end up a millionaire by following these 6 steps. And do remember to share this video with your friends, particularly those who rave about making extra incomes through the gig economy.